What's up, YouTube? It's your boy AJ coming back at y'all with another One Piece review. Yes, no live reaction today because the chapter came out a day early and I just wasn't expecting it. I was preparing for work and everything, so basically I read the chapter. Yeah, chapter 992 was a pretty interesting one for many reasons. The chapter starts off with Big Mom and Peril Sparrow talking. They're talking about the alliance between Big Mom and Kaido and why, or not necessarily, why Peril Sparrow was against it, which was because, of course, he wants Big Mom to be the quote-unquote king of the pirates and all that. But basically, he falls in line with her. She talks to him. He's like, okay, well, whatever you do is what I'm going to do. It's very interesting because I didn't expect this to happen so soon. I honestly thought him and Marco, we would see like scenes of them like fighting to get into the main entrance on Nigashima, but it is what it is on that. And yeah, and speaking of Marco, he's there as well, and that's where Big Mom asks him, why are the remnants of the Whitebeard pirates, what are they doing there? Why exactly are they fighting this battle? And Marco replies with something along the lines of like, yeah, this is, we're the remnants, but the good thing about our crew is, Whitebeard's crew, is we're still free to do what we want to do. And a good example was a good example of that was back in part 1 where Ace was going to get Blackbeard. If I remember correctly, Whitebeard didn't give him direct orders to do that. He technically didn't have to do that if he didn't want to, but he felt obligated to do that, and Whitebeard allowed him to do it. And that's how Whitebeard's crew operated. Based on this interaction, it's pretty safe to say that the little mini alliance that Marco and Peril Sparrow had is over, which is very interesting because Marco's right in front of Big Mom and Peril Sparrow. So are they going to attack him? Because they should be able to, you know what I'm saying, take him out really easily, the both of them right there. Of course, Oda's not going to write it that way, and Marco can fly, but I'm just saying that you would think something like that could happen. Also, Carrot spots Peril Sparrow, presumably, and is going to attack him. It seems like because she says that she's going to avenge Pedro, which at first I didn't catch until I reread the chapter. I was like, I didn't understand where that was coming from. But then when I reread the chapter, I seen like, oh yeah, because Peril Sparrow was the one directly responsible for Pedro's death. Duh. Now I'm gonna be real with you. Carrot probably, no, she's definitely not ready for Peril Sparrow unless she somehow gets some of that moonlight coming down on her and fights him in Sulong form. But even still, that won't last too long. Peril Sparrow's pretty strong. Honestly, I feel like people really sleep on him. This man is definitely commander level, 700 million berry bounty. He's just not assigned a commander position, but like, for example, I'm pretty sure he's stronger than Snack or just as strong. Peril Sparrow is pretty nasty. So yeah, Carrot don't want that. And from there, we pretty much go to the top of Onigashima where we see Kaido fighting the Scabbards. We get a cool little panel of all of them and him coming at each other, clashing with each other. This was definitely the most interesting part of the chapter because I'm not gonna lie, Kaido is getting folded right now. Like, it's kind of crazy. You have dang Raizo pulling out some technique with some scroll. It's almost like the Renegon or something where his scroll can absorb stuff and then shoot it redirected back at people. It's kind of like that. If y'all watch Naruto, remember how Madara had the little fan that he could reflect stuff off of? It's like that, but it's kind of weird because that made sense kind of a little bit in that series, kind of. But in One Piece, it's just kind of weird. Like, how did he do that? Like, he did, and he redirects Kaido's Boro Breath at him, which Kaido actually kind of tanks. But on that same note, Kaido's getting hit. You got Nekomamushi and Inuarashi who are in Sulong. Nekomamushi uppercuts him, and then Inuarashi stabs his leg into him, his leg sword. So it's like, things right now with Kaido are looking rough. Like, he's getting folded. I think we see Izo shooting, I was about to say nin bullets, but Izo shooting what we presume to be hockey bullets at him. I think we saw Kawamatsu. Yeah, Kawamatsu did some type of attack. It was kind of hard for me to really follow it. And yeah, Kaido needs to get out that damn dragon form. He needs to go hybrid or he needs to go to his base form because that dragon form has never been good for him. If you look back on it, it's just never been good for him. This is pretty crazy. And it gets to a point where we see the Scabbards we get a little flashback of them thinking about Odin and how they feel about Odin, and they are fighting over who's his number one retainer and all that type of stuff. And it gets to the point where they mimic his two sword style. And it's funny because I didn't realize how many of the scabbards actually had two swords. And then when I like thought back on it, I was like, damn, a lot of them do have, a good amount of them do have two swords. Ashura Doji, Kinemon, I believe Denjiro has two swords too, I believe. I'm pretty sure he has two swords. There's a lot of them that have two swords, and I didn't kind of think about that. I was like, oh yeah, they do have two swords because Odin, duh. But it's something you kind of don't think about. It kind of like I just didn't piece those two together, which is funny. But they get the flashback, and Kaido's questioning, like, they don't have Odin's technique. They're not Odin, but they're still able to cut him. And he's questioning what's going on. We're questioning what's going on. He's like, Kaido, what's going on, buddy? You're not living up to your expectations. Like, what's going on, bro? But it all comes to a head where in which they cut Kaido, all of the scabbards, in the same way that Odin cut him, with the X shape on his dragon chest. That's how the chapter ends. It's very interesting. I have my own theory as to why the scabbards are messing up Kaido right now, and honestly, I think it all has to do with Haki. Remember, Haki is, if I'm not mistaken, Haki is will. Right now, their will, based on the Odin stuff and how they're feeling right now, is just a lot higher than Kaido's will. Where Kaido, he's very, like, I guess say, flustered and questioning and emotional what's going on. So I feel like that has something to do with why they're messing him up. Because honestly, they should not be doing him like this. This is Kaido. Well, actually, no. I take that back. Another thing is, a lot of the community underestimates the scabbards too. The scabbards are very strong. They have 4 or 5, maybe even 6 commander level fighters. We know that the Dukes are commander level, Ashura Doji's commander level, and Denjiro is definitely commander level. So that's 4 right there. If I want to put this in perspective, and they're fighting one Yonko, so it kind of, like, I'm not super duper surprised when you really think about it. It's just kind of weird because your expectations for Kaido is this high. So when this type of stuff is happening, it's kind of like, whoa, it subverts it. But when you really critically sit down and think about it, it's like, okay, like, this isn't too crazy actually when you really think about it. It's just, the only thing I'm questioning is, how are they able to cut him? Not the fact that they can tangle with a Yonko. How are they cutting him? What makes what they're doing so much different than what everybody else has tried? Because Kaido was captured by Yonko, admirals, a whole bunch of people, and they couldn't kill him. So what's the trick, and what are they doing? How does that correlate? But honestly, like I said, it has to do with all will, the Haki, and the scabbards are just stronger than what people give them credit for. Like, for example, I'm gonna be real with you. If Odin was alive with the scabbards and they were like a pirate crew, they would be a Yonko level crew. Think about it. You have Odin, Yonko level, definitely. He definitely was Yonko level. And then he has like 3 or 4 commander level people with him. He may not have anybody that's right hand level, but like that would be one of the strongest crews in the series. So it makes sense. Like, for example, if Big Mom's crew was fighting Kaido outside of Big Mom herself, let's just say Katakuri, Smoothie, Snack, and Cracker, Peril Sparrow, Daifuku, and Oven, they were all fighting Kaido. You could see them hurting Kaido. You could see them messing up Kaido. Like, I could see that. I could actually, when I really think about it, I could kind of see them maybe potentially beating him. Like, they could do it. So we shouldn't be surprised that the scabbards could do this either. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say on the chapter. The chapter was pretty alright. It was a fight chapter, which actually for One Piece I kind of appreciate because we don't get many of these. Most chapters are all over the place. Oh, one last thing I gotta mention: Black Maria is singing a song. I don't understand how that song correlates with what's going on. The translation, it might be a translation thing, or I'm just not getting it. Something's going over my head. There might be something there, but it's cool to see that Black Maria, she's actually not doing anything but singing. At first I thought she was gonna have something to do with her devil fruit, but I don't think so. I don't know why she's singing. I don't know. It's kind of a weird one with her. That's our first time seeing her in, I want to say, like 10 chapters. But yeah, that's the reaction, chapter 9. That's the review, chapter 992. Action-packed chapter, very short. There should be a chapter next week because we had these last two weeks off, and there was no editor note or anything that mentioned a break. So we should be a chapter next week. If I had to rate this chapter, I'd give it, honestly, I'm gonna be real with you, I can't give this chapter more than like a 6.5. Like, that's not a bad thing. This chapter just, Like, it's just one of those chapters, like, for example, let's say if you're reading a volume as a whole, it's just one of those chapters you read through real quick. Like, it was a short chapter. It wasn't, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just, yeah. That's that. I think y'all read the chapter. I feel like y'all feel the same way. It is what it is. Doesn't mean it's bad. It's one of those chapters. These type of chapters are actually necessary. But yeah, anyways, I'm going to get up out of here. I got to go to work. It's your boy AJ. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm out.